Hi everybody, Jillian here, back with another Heritage Scrapbook process video for you guys. Today I'm going to be starting with a lot of photos. I have, let's say, 9 different photos here, all of my grandmother that I want to include in my Heritage album. I'm going to use a lot of the Maggie Holmes Bloom Collection products, as well as a few other things. So I went ahead and printed those on my Canon Selfie at home, and I just left them in the original color scheme that they were in. Here are some scraps I have from the Bloom collection. This is from Maggie Holmes' Shine collection. This is from her Confetti collection. This is from Where Our Memory Keepers Love Notes, and then the Aqua is from Pink Paisley's Memorandum collection. Whew, okay. Here's a look at the inspiration layout that I started with. This is from Miriam Perez on the Click Kits Instagram. I've linked her Instagram below. And so what I'm going to do to get started is just freehand a hexagon shape. My son ran off with my ruler, so I couldn't be sure that it was straight. It is a little wonky, but it's good enough for me in the moment. So what I'm going to do is just take this hexagon shape and use it as a template, and I'm tracing it on the reverse of each pattern paper that I want to use. I've selected 6 different patterns that I want to include on this page. Well, 5 different patterns, and then I make about 13 hexagons, and then I'm going to put it on the pale pink paper that you see at the bottom there. Now this would be much easier to do on an electronic die cutting machine, but I didn't feel like hauling that thing out. It would have taken too long, and it was actually kind of relaxing to just sit back and cut these shapes out. So now that I have all of those cut out, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I put them on the page with no 2 patterns next to each other. Now I'm working with a 4x4 photo here of my grandmother in the late 1950s, I think. Now I want to use some more pink. I want to bring in some more pink to this layout. Now I have this scrap from Crepe Paper's Hello Love collection that is just the right shade of pink, but to make it even more perfect and to tone it down a bit, I'm going to first mat the photo on a piece of vellum and then onto the pink pattern paper there. And then I'm going to go ahead and rough up the edge of the vellum a little bit to give it some more dimension. Next I'm going to go ahead and get each one of these hexagons down. They're not exactly perfect, and I'm okay with that, so there's a little bit of weird space in between each one. And I'm just making sure to put them on the page so that no 2 patterns are next to each other, and the colors are somewhat evenly distributed across the page. I am making sure to run some of the hexagons off of the edge of the paper, and then I'm just going to turn it over and trim off the excess. Next, what I'm going to do is use some scrap foam adhesive to pop up the photo from the layout. Now for my title, I'm going to use these Maggie Holmes Confetti thickers. I think they're called Hooray. And I went ahead and put that down on wax paper so I can move it around the page. And the next thing I'm going to do is cut out this teacup from the Bloom cut apart sheet. And it has some flowers growing out of it, and I just thought it was really pretty, and it incorporates all of the colors from those pattern papers. So after I fussy cut that, then I'm going to go to the 6x12 cardstock sticker sheet and pull some elements off that I want to use. I've been putting the stickers that I think I might want to use on a piece of wax paper so that I don't have a ton of sticker sheets laying around on my desk, and I'm just concentrating on those pieces that I think I might want to use. So I'm trying to figure out where to put the title down. I really want that little flower teacup thing to stay right there, so I'm trying to work the title around that. Now that lavender label that I put to the bottom right of the photo, I'm going to put the date that the photo was taken in that spot. At the time that I created this, I wasn't sure when that was, so it's left blank through the end of the video. And I'm just going to put some foam dots underneath the label too so that it's the same height as the photograph. I'm also going to put some foam adhesive under the flower portion of that shape that I fussy cut to give a little more dimension. And I don't know if you guys can see here, but once I had the hexagons adhered down to the background paper, I went ahead and ruffled up the edges so that there was some shadow under each piece and a little more dimension, because everything was starting to look really flat really fast. So next what I'm doing is taking the remaining smaller stickers from that piece of wax paper, and I'm putting those around the page. Now the journaling is going to go underneath the photo to the right of the title. And what I'm going to be journaling about, I don't actually do it on camera because I had to get the details of the story worked out, so you guys won't see me write it. But it's basically talking about my grandmother and her best friend when she was a child. Her best friend's name was Jeanette. And when my mother and I were looking at some of my grandmother's like birth documents and things when she was younger, we noticed that her name was spelled Jeanette, but she went by Janet. So we think what happened was her parents had originally named her Jeanette when she was born, but because she had formed this friend when she was a little girl, also named Jeanette, they started calling her Janet. So she just went by Janet from then on. So it's just something interesting that I want to go ahead and record and address because in all of the research on Ancestry that I've done, she's listed as Jeanette Louise, and she ended up going by Janet Louise as an adult. Next, what I'm going to do is bring out the other 8 3x4 photographs that I had printed out. And what I'm simply going to do is put them in a 9x12 size pocket page protector, and this is going to go to the left of the layout. In the center, I'm going to take another piece of pattern paper from the Bloom collection, the cream background with the lavender Swiss crosses, and I'm going to put that in the center. Now, I don't do any journaling on this either because at the time that this was recorded, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to say about these photographs. So I had wanted to sit down with my mom and my aunt and get some definitive dates and details before I ended up doing anything onto this card here. I will end up going back and embellishing that card that's in the pocket page, but I want to make sure that I have enough room to write down the information that I want to record. So I just want to show you what this is going to look like in the album. So I'm going to go ahead and open the album to the section about my grandmother. This is another page that I had created for her on the left. I don't have a process video for that one, but the Bahama Mama layout, I do have a process video for that. If you guys want to go back and watch it, it's in the Heritage playlist. Finally, here's a close-up look at the 9x12 layout. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.